What it do? What it do? What it do? On TEKNOBLAST Gaming, we got SIKSLAYER and the realest one, and on the panel. How you doing, boys?
What it do, baby?
What it do?
Hey, SIKSLAYER what it do like Skip Bayless. What it do, baby?
What it do, baby? Yeah. I didn't want to say it like what's his name. I want to say it all funny. So that worked. That worked.
Oh man, what you guys up to ever since the show? The show that dominated everything, that knocked down a whole fan base.
Hey man, look, man. Last year, like we fought the good fight, right? That's what everybody kept saying. We fought the good fight. I know, like us hardcore Xbox fans, we fought the good fight, and it looks like. But I respect the true fans, not those that are out there saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to go get my Xbox." Nah, fight that good fight like we did. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of them are breaking so easy. All it took was one game.
That's all it took in one game for them to
one game, and they
break and go ballistic to the point of they have to be committed.
Like, dude, they're to the point now where they're saying it's not Xbox first party. Guess what? You know what? None of that even matters. Can you play it on your PlayStation?
And then, the one you were talking about was Reforged Gaming. I'm gonna call him out because
it's not just him.
That guy, right?
It's it wasn't somebody else.
It wasn't, but with Reforged, it was extra funny. And Dirk brought this up earlier on his podcast, right? That he tried to cover up for it and say, "Oh, he misspoke. He meant next gen only." But one of the games he mentioned is next gen only, High on Life, which you happen to be playing right now in the background, right?
Yeah,
High on Life is next gen only. So he tried to cover up for it, and at very first he caught me with that because I'm thinking as Dirk is saying this because he explained that point later. I'm like, yeah, I could see it being that, but because the point being that he's so caught up in his crap that he's not realizing what he's saying, and he got that aspect wrong. But no, High on Life is next gen only. So no, dude, that didn't even work as an excuse. Like it even caught me almost for a second there, and I realized just before Dirt said it that no, it's next gen only. So it doesn't matter, dude. That guy,
dude, stop trying to make sense out of these dudes, man. They're gonna say
they can't.
Look, it's to the point now where they gotta just say anything.
Exactly.
It's like that guy who's getting his ass stomped out.
You mean like every pony out there?
He's not gonna give up. So his punches are coming slow. That's what the PlayStation fan base is right now, especially guys like that who get super chats and memberships. They gotta keep the morale up somehow, some way.
Yeah,
and that fan base, they don't care if it's true or not. They're gonna say yeah, and then when the Xbox fan comes, they're gonna like, dude, what's first party then? PlayStation fans are just gonna say yeah, right. You know what I mean? And that's what they're used to. That dude, I don't know where that dude came from. I heard he was a Destiny guy, but that dude's weird, man.
Which guy?
Yeah.
Reforged
Gaming.
Oh, yeah. Reforged? Yeah, I don't know.
He says some of the dumbest crap, man. He's worse than Lucas.
Oh God, are you serious? Yeah, he can't be worse than Lucas.
Yeah, he's worse than Lucas.
Yeah.
You know the reason why he's worse than
rocker.
The reason why he's worse than Lucas is because he's like some pseudo intellectual, like Colin. What's his name? Colin. Colin Moriarty actually does have knowledge of the industry, but he uses that and it makes him look stupid in the end with a lot of the things that he says, man. Like people like in that fan base respect him because he has a little publishing company and he has the most popular PlayStation show, but that does not add validity to stupidity.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So yeah, one game broke them all. The one game heard around the world broke them.
And the one thing about that game in particular is, remember, they were capping hard for that game when at first it was supposed to be one of their exclusives. So you see it in their faces, right? How much it hurts them that game is awesome. And you could see the regret that they lost that point.
The regrets.
The regrets, right? You could see the regret, particularly on Dreamcast guy and MVG in particular, right? And
MVG because he's gonna have to flop again.
Oh,
Right,
that guy, yeah, he needs to grow his teeth
Yeah.
out though first.
right. Right. But
Yeah, hard on his
I
teeth,
know.
man.
I don't. Yeah, well, hey, man. You talking about morals? Well, there you go. But see, but the messed up thing about it is, it's extra worse because it used to be one of their so-called paid exclusives, or it was gonna be up until Microsoft had bought ZeniMax up from under them, and now you see how it's all been flipped on them. So a game that was gonna be, and clearly I think is gonna be the game of the generation. We were talking about this last week, right, or early in the week, right? That it was gonna be the game of the generation. Now it's an Xbox exclusive game of the generation, right? It's the fortunes are completely flipped, and they know it, and I could see it in their faces every time they're watching the footage. You can see them just being upset that such an awesome title, right, is that was supposed to be theirs is gone now, and now it goes to Xbox, and they know what that's going to do to them, right? So it's just ridiculous.
They so broke and demented right now. I think you guys already seen this. This guy passed your PlayStation, PS5. I hope they make more review bombs. Already have 25 accounts ready for release. A little play, I guess he meant payback for the Last of Us, Horizon, Gran Turismo, and all PlayStation games that Xbox likes to review bomb.
Who started this review bombing crap? I know it was an Xbox guys.
And then I just
Wow.
responded. This has to be the most pathetic post I've ever read all day. 25 accounts ready to go. How does one have the energy and commitment for this childish shit?
Bro, I didn't even see that one. That one needs to get out there more. Like, you found this on your own. I didn't even know about that. But
It is terrible that this
my
one guy.
God.
Now, some may be just like exaggerating. They really don't have 25, but I mean, you can't
You can't
I
put it
don't
past
know.
ponies, bro.
You can't, yeah, you can't put it past. What you
But,
say?
and then the sad thing about what he's saying is, if you go to the comments, like all those games didn't get review bombed. The only one that got review bombed was The Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
like that game got review bombed.
That deserves.
But guess,
it's
let me finish. But guess what?
What?
It was review bombed by PlayStation fans.
Yes.
Those are fans who are using that platform to voice their displeasure with the direction they took with the game, especially since they already knew the story before the game released.
Oh yeah, I remember when that leaked out. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I'm tweeting this at Fratanga and Ono is Alex right now, because those guys love this kind of crap. I want to see them do something.
I bet you they already know that.
This is the same question I had the other day when we did the whole show thing. How does one get so broken over a game on a different platform that it comes to this type of crap? How are you affected that bad because of a single game that's not coming to your platform? With like a game like Spider-Man, okay, granted, I have a PS5, but let's say I didn't. Okay, and Spider-Man and Wolverine comes out, and whatever else exclusive comes out on PlayStation, I'm not bent over backwards because it's not coming to Xbox. I'm just like, oh well, move on, and I'll play what I got on mine. I don't get how they get like this. If it, or if it's just an act,
Difference in you didn't keep hope alive. Xbox had a show. It came out exclusive, right? And then their biggest mouthpieces still came out and still continue to come out and say it's coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
And this is what I told you. I think that was, I don't know if that was a legal show, but I said, we're going to see Xbox begin to explode once the realization sets in for these PlayStation fans that the Bethesda games are not coming. Once it registers in their thick skulls that these games are not coming, they're going to have to get an Xbox. But as long as they have this hope, like they still don't believe it. They don't believe it because they've never seen it before. PlayStation all these years have gotten most of the games that they wanted, except for like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So this is one game that they're not going to have. They still holding out hope. You know, like what's that dude? I had to mute him the other day. Nick Parvoom or whatever. He's still waiting for Starfield.
Yeah.
Even though they've announced the platforms, a lot of people, and you have other like outlets are saying they said first or better. They said first or better, so it could still come later.
It can still come later.
So they're still
Uh,
they're still keeping hope alive, but
oh,
in
that's
time,
crazy.
it'll begin to register them. Kind of
my
like
my question would
us with
be,
Final Fantasy VII. What's that?
yeah. But my question would be, how are they coming up with this hope that it's going to come to PlayStation?
Right,
Their
exactly.
biggest-
Because us, at least
their biggest-
because at least us with Final Fantasy, it makes sense that eventually it could happen, right? But this we know for a fact, no, it ain't happening at all, right? And it's highly unlikely with the Final Fantasy. I'm not saying it's gonna happen or anything like that, right? It's not the same, but I just don't think it's the same thing. Is my point. But Starfield we know it's not coming. Hell no, it's not coming. We know the developers themselves said they were forced to stop doing that version. It's not happening. It hasn't been in active development for like ever since the ZeniMax purchase. It's been a while now already.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Yeah, like you say, you know, we know that Final Fantasy is not coming. We accepted it. We moved on. Now, every now and then, like I'll look for information, you know,
right? Because it's still technically possible, right?
It's technically
like we
possible.
don't know because we don't know the contract between Sony and Square Enix and what the wording is,
right?
And maybe it's a couple years and we'll get
exactly.
it. We don't know,
but here the difference here. We know, and they have announced the platforms: Xbox,
right,
and PC, and that is it. So if you want to play it, you either get an Xbox or you get a capable PC, you know, and that's it. So it's like they telling you straight out the platforms that this game is going to play on, and if you cannot accept that, then that's your own stupidity, you know. Yep. Here's a thing from Forbes: Starfield feels like the first Xbox exclusive in ages that will pain PlayStation fans.
Paul Tassi? Yep.
Yeah.
Paul Tassi. This the troglodyte there.
So it's gonna, I mean, it's already been doing it since the beginning of the whole showcase, you know, or even at the announcement of Starfield, that these PlayStation fans are having a big hope that it will come to PlayStation. And even when they tell them flat out during the show, before the show, and after the show that it's not coming, this is where it's going to be at, and this if you want to play it. And they're like, well, one day.
Doc is a pony bot. I was in his chat yesterday, man.
Doc.
Yeah.
I
told y'all Doc was a pony bot a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
I told y'all like a year and a half ago when I was on a show with him. Yeah, I was on a show with him. Thrash. Sorry to cut you off, but I told y'all this a long time ago. He's a cool, nice guy, but he's a pony bot. He's been a pony bot. He's new to Xbox.
Yeah,
I was on the show. I was on the show with him, Thrash, Cowboy.
Ooh, Thrash.
Oh my God, Cowboy as well. Oh Jesus Christ, man.
So check it out. They were saying they were trying to say Game Pass is dying and Xbox is in trouble. I was like, bro, this is even before Activision. I said even before Bethesda. I said going forward, PlayStation's gonna have to do something with their service because people are not going to be tuned in to spending $70 once it becomes more common. I said, and going forward, PlayStation cannot keep up with Microsoft's output. The first person who said something was Doc. Oh no, really? Don't do this to yourself. Now I knew Queen Trash was going to say something. Right. And then also that showed me. Well, I already knew Cowboy was whatever a Stadia pony is.
Yes, yeah.
He's an opportunist. He saw opportunity in Stadia and grew his brand through Stadia. I knew I didn't. The only and Doc surprised me because then you have one bot on a pony on a panel with one pony and two centaurs or half breeds, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I never forgot that Doc was a halfway cat.
Yeah, because he's new to Xbox.
I've been telling him all he does is laugh when I say because he knows PlayStation is in his DNA, not Xbox. Which is why it takes very little to shake his confidence in Xbox, and he starts making goofy ass videos to cover his ass.
Exactly. He starts like his confidence gets shaken instantly. And you were on in his chat last night because I said what up to you, right? And at the end of the show, right, he was all good most of the show, right? And at the very end there, was it Sev was saying something he couldn't tolerate anymore, and you know how he just gets angry, right? And so I'm like backing up 7.
I never seen him get angry.
Oh, dude, he got angry at the end of the show, right? And he's like talking about something completely different than what the conversation was, right? And he's like, but what do you say? I'm like, bro, he said what he said. You're talking about something else. And then I DM'd him later, right? Telling him, hey, there's also the Amazon games thing with the Raw Ally. We'll get into that in a minute, right? Like, there's a bunch of games, free games there. Don't forget to get that. Oh, and by the way, he was talking about a completely different thing than, he didn't he never said it. He never acknowledged it, which is why I said something to him, right? Because he always admits, he openly admits he's very, let's say, frugal. He says cheap, but I'm not trying to knock him. I get the mindset, right? He's very frugal. He's cheap. He says it himself. I'm not saying it as a knock.
It's not an insult. He's cheap.
Right. But so this is why he messes with Xbox and this is why he messes with Xbox and Game Pass in the first place. This is why he's a pony bot. Like, he gets it. He's not like his brother, right? But even his brother been openly about the Xbox show and the Sony show. Like, he didn't cap at all. He said straight facts on both ends, right? But like, he was trying to argue. So he knew what he was saying. He knew what the other dude was saying was completely different, and he tried to act stupid. Like, he tried to be dumb about it, and he was getting louder and angry. And ISO, he get fed up with that every time. Anytime he gets angry, he gets quiet. He doesn't like all the debate and arguing that he does with people in the chats. And he's getting loud and angry about it. It was just ridiculous. I'm just like, bruh. Yeah, so when 100 just said that right now about him being a pony bot, oh, hell yeah, he is. Because remember, he was straight.
Hunter said that in the chat?
Yeah. This is why I brought up in the first place. I was quoting 100. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, because there's lots of folks in the chat. Shout out to Punty, the loyal. He's always there. Well before the show starts.
Hell yeah, he is.
100. Wilkin.
He's already in there.
Okay, Dea. 4566. Oh, yes. Dea.
Dea up in here?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. And Dr. Vodka. Thanks for being
Shout
here
out
in the
to
chat.
Doc.
Yo, Doc, the homie. So after this show is over, man, I got the new episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. A new season just started. Yeah, I know Doctor is also a big fan of Star Trek. 100 is as well. Can't wait to watch that as soon as the show is over, man. We'll be playing some Higher Life. That's a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that on the Raw Ally and try to finish the game. Have you ever seen him and his brother together at the same time? Actually, his brother hopped in the chat yesterday. So
who brother?
No, they're two separate people. They're definitely two separate people. They look like that's his half brother, I think, or whatever.
Are you talking about Doc still?
Yeah, Doc. No, it's because Dr. Vodka is asking this in the chat. And so they're definitely two separate people. They're definitely two separate people. Now, I see the poll you put up here. Okay, now obviously there's a joke there too, right? But like,
I can't spell for crap either.
Where to play? Yeah. So the thing is, and this is a good way to transition into the conversation about the Raw Ally, I guess, right? Like, see, with the Steam Deck, like I always said, that was my forever platform with Steam, right? Mm-hmm. Like I would buy a lot of the games that were multi-plat or whatever, and like smaller indie games, so I would always have that forever version on PC, right? But the good thing about Game Pass was the Play Anywhere games. So there's a lot of those games, and Starfield is being one of them. I don't have to buy the game again on PC to play it on the ROG Ally. Now on the Steam Deck, yeah, you would have to put Windows on it or use xCloud or whatever, which doesn't always work. So a lot of these games now, I can just get the Xbox version, or I don't even have to pay for it because they'll be on Game Pass like Starfield is, right? And so, if this wasn't a joke poll and you would just put Xbox and PC, I still wouldn't know what to vote because technically I might be playing on both, right? I could be playing on the ROG Ally on the go, and then when I get home, right? And so, this is why I want to put PC, but I'm also gonna play it on Xbox. I don't have my 4090 yet, so if I'm at home, I'm gonna be playing on Xbox. When I get my 4090, I'm not really gonna be playing on Xbox at all. I'll be playing on PC, and I can get that 125 gigs of space back. So I guess I'll say PC for now. But
let me ask you something. So when it comes to Starfield, so you think you're gonna have the 1080p 60 on the Ally?
No, it'll probably be, well, we'll see. Maybe 40.
1080,
I'm thinking
1080p.
40. Yeah, here's the even on the Xbox, because I'm starting to realize this is what I always say about 30 frames and 60 frames when people are always talking about that. We've had 60 frames since like the 2600 generation. Truly, no, even before that. Truly, right? Because it's always about a balance of the CPU and the GPU, right? And no matter what you do, frame rate wise, if you put it up to 60, right, there's less you could do with the world in and of itself, right? But if you drop it down to 30, now the CPU has more room to handle those things. Starfield is a case where they're doing a lot. If you played Elder Scroll games in the past, like Skyrim or whatever, right? Like every item is remembered. If you wipe some planet of all freaking life and you destroy everything that's out in space in orbit of the planet or whatever, the game has to remember that. Don't forget what happened to Skyrim on the PS3 with its crazy RAM situation. Like eventually, like it gets too big for the memory, all the progress you've done, and the game couldn't progress. I don't think they ever fixed that on the PS3, right? And in fact, I don't even know if the DLC even had come to the PS3 in the end, right? So take that and extrapolate that out even more so today with today's hardware and as much as they're doing in this game, right? They're doing even more than ever. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but I can understand and wouldn't be surprised if in the end it doesn't happen. So I've changed my opinion that maybe it'll happen. I don't know. Who knows? But maybe 40 frames. Yeah, the sandwiches and all that. Like that's an example of that. Maybe 40.
That was a very verbose no. But I'm gonna say yeah. I would say yeah because on PlayStation, not PlayStation, on PC, you pretty much set your own game no matter what. You're gonna set it to what you want it to be on. You can set your frames to whatever, and how it runs is up to your system. So that's why I say yeah. And if something like the ROG Ally, you can set it to 720. I think you can hit, because like all this system breakdown you did, like none of that really matters as long as you're not playing a slideshow.
Right.
Like
right.
if you set it to 60 and 720 and that son of gun runs, then everything else is fine.
Yeah. Particularly on the Ally or the Steam Deck where it's that smaller screen, like Wilkin was joking about that. But dude, on that smaller screen, that's less of an issue. Even with the Ally, which is the same size screen but higher resolution, you can tell the improvement especially with the better screen overall, right? Even if you compare it to a Steam Deck running
Steam Deck. I ain't seen the soldering this bad in a long time.
Right. And
it came expeditiously.
Yes, it did. Way faster than I ever thought. Hey, man, that's why I put it on eBay. Bro. I was just
put it on eBay fast, but I was like, what am I going to play when I'm on the go?
Yeah, so basically on the go, I'm willing to compromise with fidelity a bit more because it matters less on a smaller screen, right? There's VRR, but maybe the 40 hertz will be a good balance, particularly on the mobile and the Series S, and maybe to get like a higher frame rate going. Because 40 is the majority of the way towards the feel and the improvement that that a higher frame rate gives you, right? Of 60, like the majority of the advantages between 30 and 40, between 40 and 60 is not as big of a deal. Like the improvements in responsiveness and fidelity is mostly in that 10 frames right there. So not that it's not furthermore, from 40 to 60, but it is not as big of a deal. So if it gets 40, on the Ally on the go, I'll take that, right? It's a mobile platform. I'll take that. When I get home, on my progress, if I decide to play on Xbox or PC, boom, it's right there. Cloud. This is what Microsoft has provided all this time. So we'll see. But you don't have.
Listen. Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just reading what Wilkin is saying. He doesn't have confidence for Starfield. I understand that, bro. I really understand.
He doesn't have confidence for Starfield doing what?
Is below the minimum requirements. So I know minimum is 1080p, but very intense game. I suspect equally more dense in city areas. I agree, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how far they can get it when they drop it, or when they drop their resolutions and stuff. Because the CPU, at least in the Ally, is up to snuff.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to PC, like a lot of people try to conflate PC and console, right? They'll say, "Oh, on PC, you could just change your settings. So why can't we get 1440p 60 on the Xbox?" right? So that's all I'm saying, because the ROG is a PC, so you will
Yes.
be able to set it to whatever you want to set it to get to your frame rate.
Right.
So that's why I was asking about. You think it'll be able to hit 60 at a lower resolution? And I haven't
don't
done
know.
any reading as to why they can't achieve that on console. So, like, I don't care. It's like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Reading about it's not going to change my situation.
No.
Right.
I don't
But-
know the way. I mean, when they were showing the deep dive and even the trailer that they were showing, never came to mind about the whole 3060 thing. It just looked good. I mean, you were locked in and like, wow, that thing looks great. You know, the
Yeah.
presentation, everything about it was amazing. Not once did I think about, I hope it's 60 frames. You know, and it wasn't until after, you know, I guess the extended Todd Howard came out and confirmed it was 30, and for his reasons why, for consistency. And then everybody started like throwing a fit about the whole 3060 when
Yeah.
During the thing, I just didn't even think about it. It just looked fantastic.
Exactly. It really did. But maybe we'll get 40. Maybe we'll get 40. Yeah, I know that sounds defeatist and whatever, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who's real mad that I'm saying that. But maybe it will be 40. Like I say, that would be an improvement over the 30. Like that's the majority of like the improvement's sake. But we'll see. Who knows? Because he's talking that jive now, right? But
yeah.
You know,
yeah, and you know what? I'm not a developer. I don't know what it takes to achieve 30, to achieve 45 or 60. I don't know. You know,
at the same time, Tech, they got to get that game out too. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure that if they spent more time, they can get it to 60.
I'm sure
it's like, and also it's about. I'm talking about on console.
Mm-hmm.
Now you made me forget what I was saying. Go ahead.
No, I was saying technically it was. That's all. Technically it is. So we'll see.
No, just saying like, okay, yeah, the game has to come out at some point. So how much? Like a lot of people are like, just delay the game. It's so stupid, right? If you delay it, how long are you going to delay the game, right, to get 60? And let's just say a year passes and another year passes and they still can't get it to 60 because once they bump it up to 40, because a few people are asking for 40 because most people don't even know 40 exists, right?
Right.
And then that introduces another bug for them to have to work out. Right. So like, how long are you willing to wait? I'll play it at 30 because as much trash as people talked about Redfall, that 30 didn't feel bad. It's just that the game had other issues.
Yes, more important issues than the frame rate. Yeah, definitely. But we'll just have to see because, you know, the irony will be, of course, the same people sitting there complaining about all of that will be the same ones to find something else to complain about instead. And it will be that, and I think that they'll complain about instead will probably be related to the thing that they complained to happen that caused that problem to happen instead. It's just, you know, it's just a revolving door of crap. Eventually, they got to put the game out there. It's already been delayed long enough that this is the least buggy game they've ever released. And what that means is, you know, they have a list of bugs that they know exist in the game, right?
Yeah.
And they're not going to squash all of them before release. But that list is smaller than it's ever been before in any previous game. That's basically what he means, right? In software development, they always know about a number of bugs. Of course, there's going to be bugs they don't know about, and when gamers get their hands on the game, you know, they'll find bugs and issues that the developers didn't know about at all, let alone the ones they do know about, right? Like we saw this with Cyberpunk. They knew what bugs were there. Even if it was a well-received game and didn't have bugs in that way, there's still going to be a F-ton of bugs they know about and are actively trying to fix, and it's always like that. And supposedly that list is smaller than it's ever been before. So and to me, that inspires some confidence. Like, it's not going to be like, you know, the typical, you know, Bugfesta game. Hopefully. We'll see.
This is good that this God of War developer came out and, you know, he's a developer, so he knows what it takes. So, and to kind of defend Starfield's choice of the 30 frames per second.
And because it's a developer from the other side, that was a good.
And that's and it's a developer on the Sony side, and this is good that, you know, they can. I don't want to say they have each other's back, but someone that knows, that's in the industry and is a developer himself, comes out and says, "Hey, it's okay, and we understand why they selected that." You know,
right?
And with, you know, instead of just sitting back, and I mean, this would be nice if others came out, you know, on both sides, you know, on future future so-called backlashes. You know, people
Well,
making
see, I know. Did you see that that little poo butt uh postal dev, right? And then there's another
oh yeah, I saw that one. I thought it was
there's
stupid.
another low rate dev talking down about it.
Yeah,
Like it's one thing. Like, okay, yeah, they're gonna defend it, right? They see when you're in it, you appreciate it differently. Like an NBA player and an NBA fan, they both love basketball, but being involved in it is totally different. And
Oh
they
yeah.
know that at their studio, they make choreographed linear games. So they can appreciate what Bethesda brings to the table. And they probably know deep down inside that they couldn't do it any better.
yeah,
So why not take a stand, instead of trying to make them look bad? Because nobody's doing what Bethesda does in the industry, right? The closest one to me is CDPR when it comes to
Yes.
role play games and so many interactive items in game in this
Yeah, and
huge
open
open world.
worlds and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they should all be taking a stand for Bethesda, like especially when it comes to console, man. I mean,
hmm
$500 gets you a console that's stronger than most people's PCs out there. And
yeah,
And
most
it's
of the
gonna be a
people
long.
and most of the people that talk this PC talk are not running 2080, right? They're running older cars than that, talking about a PC master race.
oh yeah,
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
1600s, things like that. So we gotta pay attention to who we're talking to and who's coming up with these complaints. PlayStation fans don't have a leg to stand on because they're not even in the room with us, right? They
they're
can't even
too
sit at the
broken.
table.
Yeah,
They
You
don't
know,
have the game.
and it's
So why are
funny
we
that you
talking?
say that too.
they're outside.
And
They're outside the doors looking in. Like, can we play? No.
and it's funny that you say that too, because and I equate this to kind of like people who have projectors, right? They love to say that they have a 100-inch screen,
100,
right?
108-inch screen. Yeah.
But they talk about it like it's a flat screen. But eventually you hear enough times, they mean a projector off rip, right? The first couple times in life when you hear that, you're thinking, oh, they have a really big TV, but they have a projector, right? So a lot of people who cap for PC, and you could tell they just have it for the clout. The first thing they mention is how much they spent, not what's in it. Perfect example, Colt Eastwood. He asked a question, I forget about what, it was the other day. Will my $2,500 PC be able to play this game? But he doesn't mention the specs. I don't care how much you spent. I care about what you spent on that PC and what's in it, right? What you spent that money on, what's in it? Because if you spent, $2,000 on some high-end server CPU and you left the rest of the 500 for the rest of the parts, you not even going to be able to boot the game up, right? The CPU may be great, but you don't have enough money to do anything else, okay, let alone the power supply to supply, a $2,000 processor. So it's all these dudes out here. They're just for clout. They don't know anything about this PC stuff. They never mess with PC. They love to say when it's to their advantage about when they're debating, console versus PC. Oh, the typical things that are all true, by the way, right? Consoles are simple. They're cheaper. All these advantages, right? That are definitely the advantages that console have over PC, right? So you can tell that they're full of shit because that's the first thing they bring up. It's just completely disingenuous, right? So it's just like, stop trying to, because when you say stuff like that, especially in front of a person who knows, you get no respect. You're gonna get nothing but disrespect, and it's just ridiculous. So
yeah. Now, still on the Starfield here, and I mentioned this in our private group chat. If you're gonna be a Game Pass user, that means it's gonna come out the day of official release, not the 5-day early release. Well, you can. This is the premium upgrade I was told you about. That if you're gonna wait for the Game Pass version to come out, you can buy this $34.99 one and still get the 5-day early release.
Actually, it's not
I think
$34.99. If you're a Game Pass member, it's 31 and change because you get.
Oh yeah, with the discount,
extra
right?
bit off. Yeah, you get that discount.
So from what it looks like, yes, you upgrade from the standard, which is the Game Pass one, and you only pay $34. That's my understanding how this is working.
It's just like what happened with Forza, basically.
Oh, they did the same thing with Forza?
Yeah, with Forza Horizon. I regret not doing that because you got a lot for that money.
I didn't know that. I didn't do that. I just waited till the day.
I said that in our private chat. You could have played 4 days early, and you got the DLC like the Hot Wheels and all that.
Right. So that's why I asked about this. If this was the same situation, and pretty much it is. You get the soundtrack, you get the digital art book, you get a couple of items, and 5-day early access plus the next DLC, Shattered Space Story. So
you sure do. I missed that. Yeah,
that's the first thing on the list. So yeah, definitely, man. This
I went straight to 5-day early. That's that's all.
Yeah, definitely. But as a Game Pass subscriber, right? If you're interested in this game, and I'm telling you, I didn't do it for Forza Horizon 5, and I truly I don't know what the F I was thinking, right? I should have did it. 100 was telling me about this before anybody. He said it repeatedly, and I don't know what happened. I just didn't do it, right? So definitely. I got this. I already bought this. I'm already ready. 5 days early, you can count me. And I think it's even up for preload already, or it's about to be. I
think it is already. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'm down.
So once it come out, September 6th, right?
Yeah. So I guess the first instead.
So the first. Okay. So yeah.
I guess another. I don't know.
Another weekend of Starfield then, or just a whole entire weekend of Starfield, like I did with Diablo.
I like that.
Yeah,
man. I did the same thing with Cyberpunk, man. I got really far into Cyberpunk, and I started over, right? Because I made some mistakes that I didn't want to do, and so certain things went certain ways I didn't want to, so I started over, and I got about as far as I did before, and then stopped playing it. And I always said I'll get back to it when the next gen update was released, but I never did. So I need to get back to that, but before then, it'll be Starfield and Cyberpunk will be the 2 games I'll be playing for a while. But until those are released, yeah, man, Hi-Fi Rush on Hi-Fi Rush as well, but mainly what's the name of the game you're playing right now with the knife? He talks High on Life.
High on Life, man.
High on Life, man. Speaking of
DLC, Knifey returns in High on Knife DLC.
Oh! Hey, could you put up a poll so we could ask everybody who's watching which of the weapons did they think that was their favorite?
What was let's see. So which High on Life weapon was your fave? What was there?
Okay, there was the knife.
Knife.
It was the base gun. It was a shotgun that makes the platforms. That was voiced by JB Smooth.
Oh, I can only put 4. So.
Oh. Well, I guess.
Let's do it.
Oh, Let's Do It was my favorite. Oh my god, Let's Do It.
Who's Let's Do It? Is that the shotgun with JB Smooth?
That's the end game weapon.
That
was almost dead when you found them.
I don't know how you spell it, but I'm doing my best to spell Let's Do It.
Lezduit.
Well, the knife is the one I'm voting for.
Oh my god, that guy was hilarious, dude. When I got him in the game, I could not stop laughing, and that guy just blasting bombs all over. Let's do it. It was awesome. I had to call my son over, like, check out this gun here, and he was laughing, but at the same time didn't get it.
I like that.
And they do it.
Let's do it.
So when is this coming out? Let's see. Did they say, or did they just say it's
it's coming to Game Pass. So I guess they're full on Xbox exclusive, man.
There you go. But do PlayStation fans have a hope? Do they have hope alive for this one too? They're just saying we don't care. We don't care.
Yeah, because that was something we were talking about earlier, like from that Paul Tassi article, right? What is a game that PlayStation had that Xbox fans are like, oh my god, I'm missing out?
I would say the only one I would say, and this is probably maybe a niche group of people.
Spider-Man.
No, and now we have it. Is we needed a baseball game. That was it.
For you, as a baseball fan, I could definitely see saying
but that's a small group of people. That's the thing.
Right.
So.
Right. I think more people are probably interested in that Final Fantasy because a lot of people got into RPGs off that Final Fantasy 7.
Well, I know I would. I know I would.
Gateway.
Yeah. I know I was waiting for that Final Fantasy 7 to come out on Xbox, and I just kept waiting and waiting because it was said, 2 years, right? 2 years of exclusiveness, and then that's it. And then the 2 years or the 1 year, whatever it was, and I waited, and like nothing. It's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna get a PlayStation 4 or 5, whichever I got it for. And I played it through there. So
I played it on PC. What I realized is it's only like a third of the game, and even this next piece isn't even like up to like the halfway point. I don't think. I bet you it ends at spoiler alert. Sephiroth kills Aerith. Right? This is a game from '97. If you didn't know, I'm not sorry I spoiled it. I bet you it ends right there where she dies. Right? And maybe a little bit of the aftermath. Right, and it'll end right there, and then it'll be another because it's at least supposed to be a trilogy. But don't be surprised if they split up into 4 parts. These guys are Square, man. I don't know what the.
What is that?
So at this point, I realized, you know what? F this game. I'm not playing it until it's done because I'm not going to spend like God knows how much it's going to be in the end to get all the complete game plus all the DLC, extra stuff they add, right, to get the full experience. And sitting there and then debating about it when I have all this other stuff I'm still not even playing and finishing. Like I need to finish High on Life, right? I need to finish Cyberpunk, and then Starfield is coming, right? I don't have time for nothing else anyway. We're already eating too much,
dude.
I'm getting fat.
You ain't joking, man. You're like, I got this gut going right now, man. I'm going this gut just growing with a bunch of games, man. Just eating so much gut and games. It's crazy, man.
Yo, and that salt, man, is getting a lot of people.
Man, my blood pressure is like,
bro.
Man. I gotta go see my doctor next month, man. She gonna be mad at me. I'm telling you. Yeah, man. We be eating too much, man. Too many games. My doctor's gonna be like, man, what have you been eating? It's like too many games, man. Xbox keeps doing it with Game Pass. It's like they keep feeding me well, man. It's like the Game Pass feeds me more well than my wife does, man. Be like, man, she be no cooking, man, but Game Pass be cooking,
Yeah, I bet she didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
She downstairs.
Good.
Yeah, that's right. Get back in. No, just kidding.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Get canceled nowadays.
No, I'm trying to think like if there was a game like because the way that the PlayStation fans have reacted, and they're continuing to react, the more the realization sets in that they will not be playing this game unless they go boot up that PC that they've been lying about, or play it on their tablet screens or phone screens, whatever.
YouTube, right? Because you're gonna watch on YouTube.
You know, the closest thing they could do is pray and hope they finally get a web browser for their system. And then they could play it on, the cloud. That's about it.
Bro, a Series S is $350, man.
Yep.
Oh, and that brings me up this. It's ready for pre-order. Woo! If you want this.
And, here's the other thing. Even the Series S, right? They love to talk crap about the Series S, but the Series S still gives you a bigger SSD capacity right after formatting than the PS5 does. I can't believe they've never revised the PS5 with 1 terabyte, especially with SSD prices falling all over.
No, that would cost. No, but see, their SSD is different. Right, their SSD is not like yes, it is. Yes, it is. Go read about it. I don't want to argue about it, but yes, it's different. It's not. It's better than the ones that they're getting that they say will work on there. Like, look, we have to give them credit where credit is due. That's a good SSD, but that's probably the most expensive component in the console.
I don't even know.
So that's what
right now.
Really no, I'm not. I'm not. There's a reason why they give you 800 instead of a terabyte. Right. I mean, dude, you read about everything else and you don't know what's different about that PlayStation SSD.
I do know.
Okay.
Listen, the only custom element is the fact that they customize the SSD controller. That's the only thing that's custom about it. Not even the flash chips are custom, which is my point. They could just solder in higher capacity chips at this point. They exist. people
So
debate.
you're telling them to put more work. You tell them to put more work into it, and then lower the price.
It wouldn't even be
So
more.
so
It wouldn't even be
so
more work.
so you're saying those SSDs have the same amount of lanes as the PlayStation SSD?
Yeah, it's the no.
Okay.
Yeah, well, number one, yes, it is.
They don't.
It's 4 lanes
But
versus
okay.
2. It's 4 lanes versus 2, right?
Okay.
The SSD, the flash chips now. No, they have them at the capacities where they're soldered in. The same thing happened with the PS4. It was supposed to have 4 gigs of RAM, and at the last second, the RAM prices dropped, and they were able to solder in RAM chips that were twice the capacity at like the last minute.
There you go. See, it could be done.
So it could be done. It's happened before.
I mean, it could be done, right? But how many of them did they already have ordered up, right?
Yeah, they're not.
And if they can raise the price by $50, right, in other countries, and then raise it by 50 and have to give away a game, why would they make any improvements? Like as long as they see, like what these PlayStation fans don't understand when they start touting these console sales is to make themselves look bad. Like PlayStation doesn't have to do anything if you guys are going to keep buying them. That's why they thank you for your unwavering support. Right? If they don't have to give you a terabyte, right? If they can sell out with the currently constituted console, they're not going to change anything. They're going to revise it. They're going to take more and more cooling away. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to give you a better SSD.
Nah,
they're going to find ways to make it cheaper, not more expensive.
For them, which they already have. We talked about this a couple months ago, right? So they've already been doing that, and then increase the price around the same time. So we'll see. And when Final Fantasy, by the way, is 30 frames. All this talk about 30 frames, Final Fantasy is 30 frames. I thought it was 60 by now. But geez.
That fucking gun, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But
every time he said it, dude, it never got old.
Yeah, because you knew it was time. It's time for domination when he said it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. But yeah, well, no, I can't think of a game, man. I'm trying like Spider-Man is probably the closest to me because everybody was playing Spider-Man games until they got exclusivity.
Yeah.
Like Activision was making Spider-Man games, and then so it seems like that might be the game, but nobody really cared about God of War on Xbox. We were just more upset that we didn't have a game while they were getting some games. It wasn't that we want that game. Why can't we get God of War on our Xbox? We never cared like that.
No.
Facts.
No.
You know, Spider-Man. That's why Insomniac had to say Spider-Man is never coming to Xbox. And in text defense, they also had to say that for MLB The Show, right? MLB The Show will never come to Xbox. MLB said, "Watch this."
And then let's do it. Xbox.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Xbox. But on top of that, too, like at least for me, but a couple other people who actually do claim PC for real. Like most of those games came into PC anyway. If you waited long enough, or sometimes like at release, right? So it didn't matter. It didn't matter to a lot of people. If you're console only and you're Xbox and you don't have a PlayStation, it hurt a bit more. But even then, most of those multi-class, not the first parties, came to Xbox eventually anyway. Sifu. Hell, Sifu's on the Switch, right? Like, you know? So there's just countless games. I can't really think of one that.
And that's why I'm not a fan of timed exclusivity. Because it's like, by the time it hits other consoles, the game is dead. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
You know, Sifu was a good game. And it was harder day one, but like by the time it got to Xbox, they had the whole edition, the whole such and such edition with DLC, and you didn't see very many people talking about it because the game was already dead. This time exclusivity thing needs to die. Straight up.
Yeah, man, they hurt the game more than anything else because Xbox fans were talking crap about it, you know, because it was a PlayStation exclusive. Of course, the PlayStation fans were hyping it up. I'm not saying it was like the be all end all. Hell, it was a budget title.
It
right?
definitely was.
Like it was a piece of crap game.
But it was a good game.
Had they announced it for Xbox day one, not even Game Pass, right? If it was a multi-plat, it would have got its due respect from the Xbox fans. And if it was on Game Pass, what?
If it was on Game Pass, if it was on Game Pass, they'd already be talking about a sequel.
Yep.
So this but you know, I kind of like time exclusivity. There's only one AAA developer that's doing it, but like a lot of the AA and smaller studios, they actually need it, right? And the only thing that they can do that, for the with them, what's in it for me, right? When you need to go to a bigger publisher is exclusivity, or a platform holder is exclusivity. That's the only real bargaining chip. So I mean the same thing with like Stalker. That's the only real thing that they can do to sweeten the pot. Hey, we'll give you the money, put it in Game Pass, or we want time exclusivity when you're PlayStation. That's the only thing they can really do. So
Yeah.
I guess I can kind of understand it with the smaller games, but still, like, look at what's that little cute game that they had? I bought that one.
Stray.
No, from the French dudes. They were an animation studio. Ember Labs. Come on, man. Kenna, right?
Oh, Kenna.
Oh, Kenna.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, look at Kenna. If that ever comes, look how long it's been exclusive though. But when it hit PC, nobody really cared. Like a month later, it was already on sale.
Yep.
Right? Because it was like nobody cared. And then Final Fantasy, like all right. Y'all don't really hear me say anything about it because I can't hate on it. I played the demo.
Right.
And this is probably the best Final Fantasy that they've ever made. Like for me, like as far as play, I don't care about like how good the cinematics or the story are first. I do care, but that's not number one on my hierarchy of needs. Gameplay is, and the game is fun to play when you play it. Because in that demo, you probably get about 45 minutes of gameplay, and training is included in that, and then the other 3 hours is cutscenes.
Typical.
But when you're playing it, it's actually fun. So that's all I got to say about it. And
that's all I got to say about that.
Time exclusivity, I don't think it's gonna help that. And PlayStation fans have shown pretty much what they're gonna do. Right, that game's coming out in June, so that's a good time for it. It's a good time for it. Spider-Man is gonna come out later. I expect massive bundles because Call of Duty is coming out right after it. So it's kind of funny how they try to, how they expect these games to. And right now, Sony's kind of got a dilemma because they're selling out all their consoles, but it's mostly from habit buying. Right? It's not like people went to go get a PlayStation because, oh my God, it has this one thing I need. No, they had a PlayStation 4, they bought a PlayStation 5.
It's basically costing them It's basically costing them money because they're not making a profit on no games. Even if the system is breaking even, and it is, right? It hurts them in that respect.
Right, because the system sellers don't actually sell systems until later on in the generation when all of the last gen momentum wears off. So now you got all these games that you're paying time exclusivity for, and you have to find out a way to sell them and actually make it worthwhile because people aren't buying these games, man. Otherwise, they would need to be bundling. Same thing with Spider-Man. They already got the Spider-Man bundle ready to go. Like,
well, they just announced that today. Like the pre-orders. Oh, I saw it on the Insomniac account today.
So what is it? Is it the console price plus $50?
I don't even know because I didn't care to pay attention.
It's probably that's what they did with. That's what they did with.
What are you talking about?
With Horizon. That's what they did with Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon. They did Horizon. They did Call of Duty. They did Turismo. They did God of War. Hell, if you go into the store right now, God of War is in the box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why I don't respect any of the numbers. It's like that. Like Spider-Man is the only game that I credit for selling consoles when it comes to PlayStation.
Yes.
Right.
You can tell because they wins.
Yeah, they had Spider-Man and they were selling it for $200. But like right now, everybody wants a PlayStation because it's new, so they're throwing games in the box, and it forces increased revenue because they had that big drop off quarter before the last one. So they figured out a way. They raised the prices in their strong markets and made other people buy a game. Hey, it's $20 off. I guess that's one plus, because they're selling them for $50 instead of $70 when they do it that way.
Ah, okay. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Console's $550 with the bundle, right? But God of War is $70 next gen. Horizon is $70, $25 in my case. So
nice.
Well, that's what happened with my PlayStation.
But yeah, exactly. Like I bought the bundle that came with Horizon, and then I sold the game code to Realist, and then that's it. I mean, yeah.
You were lucky Realist was there to buy it too.
Yeah.
Bro, they were giving them away in forums, Reddits and stuff like that, because and like my brother-in-law, when I found him his PlayStation, I was like, what is this? I said it's a game. I was like, his daughter, I said Raina would know, because like he got 2 pony kids, but only one of them is a real true pony.
They got baby ponies.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, how y'all telling me PlayStation is better and y'all don't play PlayStation games?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
She does.
Like you don't know this? You don't know what this title is? It's a PlayStation game.
Yeah, it's like my neighbor. Man, I don't know, man. You tripping, man. Xbox ain't better than PlayStation, man. I was like, bro, like, I said, you play God of War yet? When it come out? I said, I'm gonna go.
Wow.
I said, I'm gonna go now.
Nice. And he was probably too stupid to even realize the low-key jab at that.
Yeah.
he did, and he did after like 10 seconds. No, come back, man. No.
See? It took him 10 seconds to realize.
I said, bro, I'm gonna tell you, bro, you're really when it comes to it, you're a Nintendo guy. Because I saw him coming from GameStop. We crossed each other on the road, and this dude was flashing Pokemon through the window. Day one. You know
One of the worst ones ever. One of the worst Pokemon entries ever, apparently.
So the PlayStation
it's a poor performance.
Will be for what? For NBA, football.
Yeah,
and Fortnite.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's case now, he does play the show and only the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, but most people, they buy a PlayStation to play the same games that we're playing on Xbox and PC.
And FIFA.
And that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, Apex, Fortnite is everywhere. But those are the most played games on both consoles.
You ask these same people about exclusive, they're like, huh? When did that come out?
Yeah, it's like my brother-in-law, man. I was like, bro, because when he couldn't find a PlayStation, I was like, bro, just go get a Series S, man. And then you could play the show for $15. I was like, and there's a bunch of other games, man, and y'all won't ever run out of games. I ain't buying no Xbox. Like, all right, because that's how dug in they are. This brand loyalty, and like people. This is always been my problem with PlayStation fans. They hype up PlayStation, but like the numbers
don't actually support it.
But the mass, the bigger portion of the fan base is not there for PlayStation games, and Xbox isn't much different. But we're not the ones out there talking about sales that way,
right?
Which is why Xbox has Game Pass. The only one who really could talk are the drones, the Nintendo drones. Those are the only ones who could talk about sales and attach rates.
Yes,
because you have 100 Switches out there and they're selling 50 million copies. They're outselling AAA games on one platform with no AAA games on that platform. So yeah, different.
So who's getting the new Series S Black?
I already wasted enough money.
Yeah,
one day it'll probably be that version.
Bro, I bought the Ally, I bought the headset, I bought the controller, I bought the bootleg watch box. You know what I'm saying? Like,
watch. Just look, the watch is gonna be so cheap. So cheaply.
Yeah. We know what the brand is.
Did you see it?
It's actually a good brand, actually.
What's the brand?
It's a decent brand. I forgot what it's called,
it's
but
Casio.
I got
Casio.
It is. No, it's not Casio. It's one of those smartwatch makers.
Yeah.
But it's not Samsung. You know what I'm saying? it's like the watch is a pedometer, a pedometer on there, and all kind of stuff.
Samsung would have been an awesome partner to do because they're called the Galaxy Watch.
It wouldn't have been $300 either.
Yeah.
My watch is like, well, it's a internet watch. Okay, a Wi-Fi watch is $300 by itself. Like I have what is that called? The
LTE?
LTE watch. So like that's different, but just a regular watch is $300. I knew it was a Samsung. That's why I was laughing when y'all talking junk. I said, "What y'all think I can get a Samsung?"
Yeah, that's why I started saying Casio and all. I'm the one who actually started that joke. I started saying something about Casio. We don't even know what brand it was. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't even know what brand it was. I think it was you or Tech started saying, "Oh, Casio," and I was like, "Yeah, Casio." There we go. Like we didn't know.
That's why when you say Cassie, I said, "What you thought you were getting a citizen?"
Hey man, if I'm paying $300, man, better get something good.
Nah, bro.
Citizen.
You better take that patch and go sit down somewhere. You better sew that
Man.
on a T-shirt.
Man, we just lucky it's not a Mickey Mouse watch. How about that? All right.
Nah, but look, because I don't know if you
I love the
remember, like the bags from
Are you gonna-
Fallout
are-
76 when they
Yes.
came out, they
Yeah.
did not match the advertisement.
Right.
And that box that the stuff comes out in is cool, real cool.
The case, right? Yeah.
It's gonna be
case.
it's gonna be like the old school lunch boxes.
Nah, bro, did you see it? Like when you turn it, the knobs turn. It looks like it's really trying to look high tech. Like it's cool. It's cool. Like if AfterBoss wants that other one I ordered, I would sell it to him for cost. But otherwise, I'm gonna keep one and throw it up somewhere, and then actually open and use the other one.
Too good. Seiko got the. Is that what it's Jimmy Merchant, man?
Ah, that's the homie.
From down under.
What was I gonna say? Dang it, I forgot.
I don't know, man.
Oh, are you gonna be sporting out that watch though?
No.
You're just not gonna wear it?
How about when
No,
you play though? Okay, are you gonna wear it when you play?
No.
Yeah, you gotta wear it when you play.
No, because it's not better than my watch.
Okay.
I would rather that, like, and I've been looking for it and I gave up. I would rather that somebody make a Starfield facade.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? A clock face.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because there's a Pip Boy watch face in the Samsung store,
yes.
but not a Starfield. And if they make it, what is the word that I'm looking for? If they make it operate the way it does in the game, that'd be really cool. I'd pay $5 for that. Because most watch faces are $199.
I'm just hoping because we don't know if there's supposed to be an app that comes for the watch where just like with the Pip Boy where it represents what's happening in the game on the watch, right?
Oh, if they do that, then I wear it.
Right, right, and that's what and that's why I asked you that, right? Like that's the assumption, even though we've never actually been told that at all, right?
Yeah.
But if that does happen, I hope they release the app on other platforms as well. They don't just leave it to that, because that would be dumb. Like you work all this time and then don't release that functionality of the watch. That would just be real counterproductive.
Doctor said that case is built like the ones from the Apollo missions. Allegedly.
Dr. Vaca always mess with me like sick. I don't even know how he knows I bought certain crap, but
well, bro, I know because you tell me.
Well, I know. Well, I know how you know, how Doctor knows, but he always jigging at me. But like, if it doesn't have any like operation, because see, like the controller, because I bought the needler from what's that boy's name, Pope.
Yeah.
And I waited until Halo dropped before I opened it up. And that hurt me too, because I wanted to return it because the print didn't look just like it wasn't shiny. It's more of a matte finish, and the people are in China. Good luck. Yeah, so but like the Starfield, when you use the Starfield controller and you connect it, you get that Starfield live background or dynamic background.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't know what happens with the headset though. So like, yeah, I'm waiting for the game to drop, and then I'm gonna use those. I'm also waiting to see if what's that Razer comes out with a base for it.
Oh, the charging base.
The charger base is
they're the ones that are like $50.
Anywhere from that's what I was about to say, $40 to $50, but they come with a battery, and well, the one I had, because I got the Forza one, comes with a battery and you can plug it up and plug and play.
The only base one I got is the Jedi one. I got like some Star Wars one that I got.
I got all the bases for my regular controller. I got a blue one, I got a black one. Because if you check the Microsoft Store on your Xbox, they go on sale for $14.99.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I bought all of them. I bought one for my boy. I bought them all. All the controllers have a base.
No, mine are still in boxes.
I didn't buy that 20-year anniversary one. See, I didn't open that one either, but I heard you get a dynamic background for that one too.
I got the 20-year one, but I haven't opened it.
That's my base controller, like we discussed before. Because
hell,
it's not the Elite. The Elite is, you know, like the 2, not the 2.5 that the
This came in Saturday and I still haven't opened it yet. This is my Starfield controller.
I opened mine. I opened the box and put it in my stack of boxes.
Oh, it's out already?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I put it on Twitter. I got the controller and the headset the same day. The day after the ROG came in. So the 14th.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a skit for a short video that I'm trying to come up with this controller. So I'm trying to come up with a fancy, not a fancy, but a clever short.
Speaking of clever shorts, so that ROG Ally, I put a unboxing and a short.
Yeah, he sure did. It's right here.
Yeah, check that out. Check that out on my YouTube page. You know, get
I'm
that.
gonna put this. I'm gonna put
short.
this here.
Get that some likes and subscribes or whatever. But
there you go. You guys go check it out. I'll put it in the chat here.
Hey, Sick, have you been on the lookout for like skins and what screen protector do you have?
I pre-ordered the D brand one, right?
Oh, did you get it?
No, it's pre-order only right now.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna just go to Amazon.
Yeah, I'm not doing
that's it because that one has $24.
Because right, and the one from I think it's the same price. But see, I've had the experience with the Steam Deck where they have all these ones and they're nice. They're fine, but they don't fit exactly right. There's a little because it wasn't made for them at the early point. Later on, they started fitting a lot better. I want the D brand one. I know it'll be perfect.
You gotta get the one that says Steam Deck because I still have the same screen protector on mine from day one. But you know, I reskinned mine with the D brand though, so like it just fell right in the hole and lined up.
So they gave you guys a cheapo little stand.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing I want to talk about. Like people are sitting there complaining about it. It was a little free. It's made of cardboard or styrofoam, whatever.
It's like it's
made out of the same stuff the PlayStation 5.
Yes, exactly. And guess what? It works. It's a nice little tight fit, right?
It's a nice temporary stand for now.
Yeah. In fact, mine is in there right now, right? Like I have a good metal stand. You hear that, right? That's my metal stand.
That could be anything, dude.
But the lip part, you know, like on the bottom of a stand, it's not long enough to hold it where it sits in.
Whoa. What about Reynolds here?
Oh, you ain't gonna make me no ad money. Well, YouTube ad money because I don't have enough subscribers to get money off of that. So yeah, don't let YouTube get no money off of that. Yeah, but get that a like, you know.
Yeah.
Get my views.
Get on there. Give them a like. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe on SIKSLAYER's channel. Yeah.
There's also a short that I did as well. Even before the unboxing, you should probably watch that first before you watch the unboxing. But yeah. So I'm looking, and see the dock situation is another situation too, because the official dock doesn't have an Ethernet, right? And so that for me isn't what I want to get. I don't think that's going to be good. I want a dock that has Ethernet with the HDMI and everything else, and
maybe a full-blown dock, huh?
Yeah, like the JSOX one, with a full like dock with all the features. But there's also a lot of talk. Now I don't know exactly about what the details are about that in terms of when you plug it in to charge in the turbo mode for 30 watts. Like you have to use the official charger or their official dock, or it's not working out exactly. I'm not sure exactly what the situation is. I don't know.
It's a nice tight fit, like you said.
Yeah. Pause. That's what I was thinking too, and I don't know if I said pause or not.
Man, you just had a punny moment, didn't you?
Yeah. Really. So you know anything about that with the charger situation in docks that are already out? They're not like giving you the 30 watts or whatever.
No, it's got to be the one that came in the box.
You got to use your own charger, but if you use like the JSOX dock, it works otherwise though?
Nah, bro, look.
So does Asus not have their own official dock?
They do it for Ethernet.
Yeah, but see the thing is like if you try to use it, because I have a what is this thing called? It's from it's a Dell charger, 65 watts. And I still can't, and it'll say it's not the controller that came in the box. Use that if you want to be able to use 30 watts.
Yeah. You don't have like 100 watt or anything to test out with? Maybe.
No, I don't have 100 because I don't. Like you can buy an Anchor that does 100, but I'm willing to bet that it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
that's probably why they're sold out of the 65 watt uh ROG chargers at Best Buy too.
Ooh,
Mm.
that's probably why.
Cause see, like I don't like to use the ones that come in the box. For one, they're short, but
This one had a long cable.
Did it?
but yeah, well,
Yes.
not longer than the one I have. Cause
Ooh.
this
Oh,
Dell
yeah.
chart.
Oh,
Guys comparing cables.
Man, what's wrong with y'all, man? You ain't grow up.
Oh, stop
that
it!
was a funny one. That was a funny one, bro.
Yeah, grow up. It's so gross.
Grow up,
Oh.
guys. But yeah, man, I'm loving this ROG, man.
Oh yeah.
People have their complaints because I'm gonna say beware of Linux and Steam fanboys
Absolutely.
and girls.
And the Microsoft haters. They're out here, bro.
Well, the Microsoft haters are just Linux fanboys.
No, because I know a couple of them who aren't at all, right? They don't mess with Linux. Like I'll name one.
Okay, so if they hate Microsoft and they don't rock with Linux, then what are they on, Mac?
They're still on Windows though. See, they love to talk about Microsoft, but never leave them. The irony. It's crazy.
Dude.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So have you played on the shitter yet with that thing?
Yes.
Not yet.
Sweet.
I have.
Not yet. Not yet. But I got some good Dookie games though, like Star Trek, Detroit. Bro, I've been playing Detroit, and I see that like Elon Musk must have played that game too. Yeah, but Elon Musk must have played that game too, man. You see you see the little AI bots, bro. You see what they're trying to do, man? That's crazy. Like
Crazy, yo.
Yo, that's crazy. Because like they're trying to make them your personal assistants, and stuff like that. Oh man, like it's crazy where we're going.
It's gonna be your sex bot. Yep.
I'll be like 85 when they finally come out, and then somehow like the one I get will mess up, and that'll be the end of me.
Or you be like that dude getting drunk fussing at your robot.
Yep.
but yeah, like that, bro. I need a skin, bro. I would have preferred this thing be black.
Yes.
I don't even want to touch it sometimes.
Not doing the skin because of
it sounds gross.
Of the way it is. It just
because it's too many things to work around. Like from the eye vents on the back to the you got the little, what is this called? Iridescent strip in the back. You got the button in the back. That means that you would have to try to find a way to get the skin underneath the back trigger.
This guy's saying it's like, I don't want to touch it. Come on now.
No, you don't, bro. It's white. Like it's white. And it doesn't have the feel that it's like oleophobic or whatever like that. Because like this, man, this thing will be yellow in a minute. I don't know what they were thinking to come out with a white one, but
no, it's not going to be yellow. It's just going to have the dirt from everybody's hands on it.
Now, okay, is it cheaper to make things white? Because it seems like everybody likes to make something white.
I think they made it white to be different, right? Because I've heard the response from Asus that they might make a black one later. I think they did that. This is my opinion and no evidence or nothing. I just think that they want, something to be different, the contrast. Because if you see them, at a glance and they were both black, people who don't know the difference would be like, oh, they're the same thing and not realize they're two different things, and might buy one over the other not knowing, right?
Or they could be taking the reverse of the Xbox approach with like the white Series S and the black Series X. So then like the $500 version will be black.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know, but white, go to Best Buy and see. You'll see.
I've never liked white devices ever.
Yeah,
I've never liked them.
And mainly because they get dirty. It's not so much the color part. It's just they're gonna be dirty. So no thanks.
They're just dirty. I like black. You know me. I like it black, man.
Same here, man.
I don't hide that. I like it all black.
All black, everything. That's my favorite color. I'm not gonna
all day,
lie,
every
but,
day.
What can I do?
It's how we do it down in the dirty South.
Hey, can I ask y'all something? All right. Not that everything you have the time to let everything marinate, right? We watched the showcase together on this channel. Other than Starfield, what is the game that really like made you say, "Wow, I want to play that one."
Dude, that Clockwork looks awesome.
Clockwork, 33 Immortals.
I said game.
One game?
Yeah, that's singular. The game.
Forza.
Forza. All right. Yeah. I'm with Tech. I said Clockwork.
Clockwork is a close number 2.
That's the game that made me like, wow, man, because yeah, and then it does have that BioShock feel. And I know you guys on Twitter too. So you guys saw that former BioShock dev trying to call him out?
No.
There's always a petty one. There's always some petty dude. We invented that. They just a clone of us. Like, bro, you're not relevant anymore. That's why you're salty.
But Atomic Heart was also had like BioShock elements in it.
Yep.
It's not quite steampunk. I think like there's been so many steampunk, but this is the one game that challenges the throne.
Yeah.
And then you have the time sweeper element too. Oh man, that game's gonna be crazy. Only thing that I hated is it said in due time.
Time sweeper cat. I remember that.
Yeah, in due time is the only thing that turned me off about that. It's like, man, come on. But that's the game that I'm like, okay. Because at first, everybody was talking about Fable, and I was like, yeah, I want to see Fable. But when I saw Clockwork, that's the game that I'm like, man, I want to play that one. But after that, since we're gonna talk about other games like Sick had 33, South of Midnight, I want to see more of that.
Okay.
I'm from the South with a grandmother from Louisiana who used to tell me all those folk tales, and a guitar fan who loves Bob Johnson, and the story of how he supposedly became the greatest guitar player who ever lived. Like, I'm sold.
Sold
on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I think they gave me extra Game Pass, bro. They gave me 6 months of Game Pass on my Rogue Ally.
What?
Now only got the 3. You must have had more than you thought.
No, it was supposed to expire next year in September. Now it expires in March.
Damn.
Of 2025.
Oh. You must have bought some cheap or were gifted and forgot or something.
Either that or I kept trying to get because my computer came with PC Game Pass. And it wouldn't credit me for some reason. So either
we're probably already on Ultimate and PC Game Pass being different. Yeah, I could see that.
Well, normally what they do is they convert it. Like that 3 months is $30. That's 2 months of Game Pass Ultimate.
Okay.
But they wouldn't do it. But that's still 5 months. So maybe you're right. Maybe it was. But I still went from September to March. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because normally that stuff has an expiration on it.
Ain't no need for a complaint on that, right? Free is free, baby.
Yeah, but Starfield, man, hey, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm still trying to think of that one game, bro. There's never been a game other. I don't care about Spider-Man. I'm thinking about the fan base. Who is up in arms about any PlayStation game? And it'll forever tickle my funny bone that they complain about Xbox buying publishers. Well, Xbox had to buy publishers. If Sony could, they would. Like, let's not act like Microsoft is doing something that Sony wouldn't. Sony just can't.
Yep. And what they used to do was just pay to keep it off of other people. They can at least afford that.
Well, that's in their budget, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's their that's their wheelhouse.
But if you notice, like the only AAA that's doing that is Square. Like you can't get an exclusive from EA. You can't even get an exclusive from Sega Atlas anymore.
Nope.
Right. Only the smaller companies are doing time deals or exclusivity deals. Square is the only one who wants funding from platform holders to bring a game to market.
Oh, and real quick, one last thing about the ROG Ally. What color did you set your analog sticks to?
Nothing. They're flashing purple right now.
I put Xbox green, baby.
I would, man, but I wanted to play some games. The first game I played on it was Atomic Heart, and I put the frame limiter on 45, rock solid, high settings. I forgot how to play it though, so I just quit. I'd rather.
So I played a lot of titles up and down. I've played some big AAAs. I've played a lot of 2D indies, that would sip the battery. There's a lot of little bit of the jank here and there, fit and finish, right? About equal to what
with what though?
Cat Day one. No, like minor fit and finish, little tweaks that need to happen. That'll
Like
happen,
what?
like when you're switching between, like sometimes when you go into Armory Crate, like the inputs on the D-pad are a little off, right? And either
Oh
way,
hell
because
yeah!
it's scanning,
That's what I was
because
gonna
it's
say.
scanning for games, or if you just you kill it and you just press the button, it'll relaunch it automatically, and then it'll work itself out. But usually it's because it's doing something in the background, like it's scanning your drive for new games, and it sees games from anything. If you install a game from Xbox, if you install a game from Steam or
Because
GOG,
I got Epic, GOG,
yeah,
EA.
EA.
I need to put Blizzard on there.
Oh, and
This is
I
what.
put Amazon. If you're a Prime member, they give free games out all the
Well,
damn time.
but Prime games go through GOG.
No, they have some that are just their games, and they have an Amazon game app that you download.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the games that they give away on the giveaway page to Prime members. They're all GOG games.
Oh, okay, because the ones I'm talking about is their Amazon game app. Like they've been doing basically the entire Neo Geo library. Low key, they've been putting out this game and that game. I've got all of the ones they put out so far. I don't think there's much left to have like the whole library. Right?
So
yeah.
So what's their storage and expansion options?
You can upgrade your SSD.
Oh, so you had to crack it open and replace the SSD and then load up everything again?
And the thing that they did that was so wonderful, bro. This is Xbox level stuff right here. Yes. Once you take your SSD out, for one, you don't even have to turn your console off because there's an optical reader in there that once it's open will automatically shut the system off. For one,
yeah. So everybody's saying to take out to unplug the battery.
You don't even have to do that because it's going to turn off. Yeah. And then two, like everything is right there. Like when I busted open a Steam Deck, I had like at least 23 screws.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you take off your 6 screws, and the SSD is just sitting right there, and all there is like this little plastic flap. You pull it up, take it out, pop the new one in, screw it in, and you're done.
And
okay,
fact,
so are there 2 separate storages, one for the OS and one for storage for games? No,
it's one SSD.
Oh, okay.
One SSD. And the cool thing about it is, I'm not gonna say the thing you think I'm gonna say, Realist. I'm gonna leave that to you because I know you're gonna get to that point, right? But the SSD, you can open it off rip, right? Even before you boot the system up, and just and put a new SSD in it and do what you want, right? So the benefit of that is what I imagine Realist was gonna say next. I'll leave that to you, bro.
Because what I was gonna say about when you do put you sync your OS to the cloud, and when you put that new SSD in, the BIOS will automatically download all of your settings that you had to the SSD. You don't have to flash anything. You don't have to put the OS on another external SD card and flash it that way. Yep. It'll automatically download everything from the cloud to your BIOS, and when you start up, it'll be downloading your games and everything just the way you had it before.
Okay, so this is my question though. When you pop in a new SSD, that means this SSD is empty, has nothing on it.
Yes.
That means you got to install.
It has your OS.
Huh?
This is what I just told you, Tech.
Yeah.
The when you put that new SSD in, it's gonna load through the BIOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the BIOS is automatically gonna download everything that you had.
And Windows.
Now, right.
Yes.
Now if you do it before anything, you just took it out of the box, busted it open, and put an SSD in, then it'll still download it for you. You don't have to flash anything.
Yeah, it's all built into the BIOS. Like it could put the software image right onto the SSD off rip. So as soon as you take it out the box, you don't even power it on yet, right? And let's say you have a 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte SSD, you could put that in immediately and do that on first install, and then immediately it'll go to the BIOS and tell you, because the BIOS will come on because the SSD is empty, and it downloads off the ASUS cloud the thing. But what the extra feature he's talking about is if you boot the system up, without opening it up, and you set it up how you like in the BIOS or even outside the BIOS. Actually, there's an ASUS app you could do, but the BIOS I think has the functionality as well. You could clone your SSD to the cloud where all your stuff is there, and then you swap the SSD after you've already pre-configured everything the way you like, and then re-download back off the cloud everything onto the new SSD. You could do it either way. Either you do it fresh with the new drive before you mess with anything, or you could have already did it and then back it up and then re-download it with the new SSD. Plus, the good idea and the best idea I think is for people to do is if you have an SSD, let's say you get even a minimum of terabyte, right? What you should do is I think you should partition the SSD. You should at least leave a 512 gigabyte partition, to match what originally the system came with, right? And then the rest of the SSD space, you could put that as a games partition, right? So even if you ever wipe the operating system again, the game's on a separate partition entirely, right?
Sick is a true blue tinkerer.
No, but it's a simple thing to do, though. It is.
It is.
I used to wipe it all the time, and then all your games will still be unaffected if you decide, say, to put SteamOS on it or whatever, right? And then all your games are there without having to re-download anything.
I'm following. I'm picking up what you put down. But I remember, man, we used to just sit around tinkering, bro. We do more tinkering than gaming.
Yeah, but this one, it had a lot of not tinkering per se, but a lot of setup. Like the first step was definitely you go into Windows Update. If you do and the funny thing was the system came out on Patch Tuesday, right? So it was the freshest Windows patches that day, right? Because every second Tuesday of every month is when Microsoft puts out the Windows updates, right? So that was the perfect time for it. Like the first thing I did was go to Windows Update, and it was all these updates, and it happened all one time with one reboot, right? And then afterwards, all those Windows updates were done one time, and then there was the ASUS app. You had to do it a couple of times because there was a couple of BIOS updates. So what you notice, I bet you noticed this, Realist. Like you did the fingerprint thing the first time, and you did a BIOS update, and all of a sudden you have to do the pin and the fingerprint update all over again. It's because whenever you do a BIOS update, right, it wipes the fingerprint sensor because it's not going to match up anymore, and you have to do it over again. So for anybody who gets their raw guideline, don't even worry about doing the fingerprint thing. Just skip that and do all your updates because you'll have to do it again anyway. So don't even bother. Just do all your updates, everything, and then you set that stuff up the way you like it, and then you can go to game.
Man, look at this picture right here. They're using that very advanced stand in the advertisement here on the ROG Ally website.
Yeah,
I understand. They had it on all
works.
these events. Yeah, it works.
It works.
Plastic. And everybody's complaining that it's cheap, but it's not something they're advertising. It's useful. You can't really knock it. They gave you something for free.
Honestly, though, sick, bro. After looking at the ROG case, they should have put that in the box, but it wouldn't fit.
Yes.
They should have given us a voucher or something to go pick that thing up at Best Buy. That's a trash case.
Or a discount or something. Yeah, it's a trash case. That's why I didn't buy it. And there are no good replacement ones at this early point, right?
Because I got a case that'll fit the Switch and the Steam Deck, and my Ally goes right in there. It's got felt lining. It's firm on the corners. Man, that Steam that one. No, the one thing about the ROG case is it's water repellent. Or liquid repellent.
Yes,
that's the one plus about it. But hey, but anybody who wants to play Game Pass games on the ROG, if they buy one, all you have to do is go into the settings offline. If you want to play offline, or take it with you, you go into the settings. You can designate up to 3 PCs to be able to play offline through Game Pass. You have to log in the game one time online, and then you can play them offline thereafter. Yep. I see some people complaining how does it work? Well, that's how it works. I mean, it's an easy search anyway, but you go into the settings.
Did it come with this big cable here, or is that separate?
No, that's for your graphics card.
Yeah, that external box. You see that black thing right under the monitor?
Yeah,
that's the external GPU, and that's their custom connector for it.
And the graphics card is from 800 to 1600.
Ooh.
Yeah. So here's the thing about it. The price is crazy expensive for what it is, right? But if you don't have a PC, right, and you don't have any of that stuff,
then it works.
Yeah, then it's a fair price. It's also got an SD card slot. It's got extra USB. It's got all this stuff. So you can have an external hard drive and SD cards and all that stuff, set up, connected to a monitor or TV or whatever you use. And then you take your ROG Ally with you. And when you get home, you just plug it in, and then all that other stuff is there. So for $1,500, maybe a little over that, for the both of those together, that's not too bad for what you get. But a device all by itself, that external GPU, if you already have a PC or whatever, nah, that's just too much for that use case. But if you don't have any PC, that's pretty fair for what you
well, then the PlayStation guys can buy this and have a mobile device as well.
Yeah,
they can play Starfield.
Starfield.
Yeah, I mean, because their pride won't let them buy an Xbox, so they think that they're getting a one up on Microsoft by buying a Microsoft device that they can run Game Pass from. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the logic that these guys come up with. They all supposedly have these PCs, but they're crying about Starfield and Microsoft buying third-party publishers. Like, it's not computing, and that's why I don't pay attention to these fellas, man, and chicks, because some of them are weird. You got those weird console fangirls too, but yeah, I wouldn't buy that. If I didn't have a computer like Six said, then maybe, because I really wish that Microsoft, but I guess they are really treating this thing like what it is. It really is a PC. So like, if you go buy that GPU, you have a PC. Because I got a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. Like, you can actually, because like I subscribe to 360 or whatever. So that was one of the first things. Once I logged in, it was like, you're subscribed and all this. Like, dude, I don't need Word documents on this thing. But if you're that guy or girl and you don't have a PC, this could really be it is a PC. It can do everything.
Oh, check this out. You know how awesome this would be for me? I can get the raw hook up a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and let's just say I had that black box in the middle. All right. Or wait, can you connect the Ally directly to a monitor by like just straight?
Yeah.
Yeah, with USB-C. Yeah.
Okay. Then I could do some remote work over a dumb terminal that I have access from work.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Bro, it's a legit PC.
So yes, it's a PC. So yes, that's what Valve had put an ad for the Steam Deck back then.
Yeah.
And the ad was, it's a PC. So yes,
nice.
It does
Nice.
And the Windows install was pretty light. A lot of people were sitting there complaining, oh, it's got Office. It doesn't have any of those things. Those are all stubs. Like, if you try to launch the Word icon, if you click on it, it has to sit there and download off the Microsoft Store app. Right? It's not really there. They're just stubs. You can just like, I've never even used a mouse and keyboard with it. I really just use the touchscreen, right? You just can, you long press on the thing and you pick uninstall, and all it really does is erase the icon because it's not even really there. The OS install was actually pretty clean. None of that stuff is actually there on the drive taking space. I
don't have any complaints. The only complaints that I have is when you're in the armory crate, like you mentioned earlier, like the D-pad doesn't really work, but use your finger and touch the screen. Now, if I had an issue with if the touch screen had some kind of jank about it, then I would have a real complaint. But it's something that goes on, and as I keep using it, I'll figure out what it is that makes it do that. But like, it'll
pop up the keyboard often.
It'll when you're in armory crate, like it'll just do what it wants to do. The direction doesn't. It'll skip over icons you want to go to, but just touch the one you want to go to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And it's usually because it's scanning for games and stuff. Like, if you wait that out, half the time you wait that out, right? Because it's one of two issues. It's either it's scanning for games, so it's acting real funny, right? Because especially if you put the sort to like most recently played, right? Like, that stuff gets jumbled around, as you play different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, especially if it's a Steam game, because the Steam icon will move, plus the game that you played off of Steam, and it will be this all crazy thing.
Okay, then look, I don't have any issues with Steam, but how is the big picture experience on the ROG in your opinion, compared to the Steam Deck? Just big picture.
Just big picture. If I turn off, Armory Crate and I just use big picture and I tested that, it's literally the goddamn same. Even the boot up screen where it shows it, and you could buy different ones, right? And you can set it to random and play different ones. They're all still there, and I've re-downloaded all of those onto my ROG Ally, and every time I launch big picture mode into Steam, it will play one of it will randomly play one of those intros. That's just one example of every feature is already there. And yesterday or today, they did a major update to Steam right? That update a lot of that interface stuff just in time, as if they did it on purpose for the benefit of the ROG Ally. Like,
Bro,
wow.
I'm so glad that I don't have to double dip because I work on the road, so it's like this is like a console like this is great.
Yes.
But like I hated that I had Game Pass. I bought Psychonauts on Steam. I bought a bunch of games on Steam and a bunch of games that are in EA Play. I subscribed to EA Play on the Steam Deck, and then come to find out EA Play doesn't even work because the EA app doesn't play well with Linux. So then you had to go. Then you had to go work through Wine, and then that still didn't work. Then you had to find another bootleg to get your EA games to work.
It was always some jank bullshit, bro. Oh.
And so now, like Armory Crate, I got the EA app, my EA subscription. Bro, I didn't know EA did a Ubisoft Plus type of deal.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? And this is why I say Game Pass is about to go up.
You're about to say the thing I was gonna say when you were done, I think.
Because EA Play and Ubisoft Plus are more expensive than Game Pass, and they don't offer nearly what Game Pass does.
Not at all, because they really don't have the depth and breadth of a whole platform. They're only
now they do have bigger games than Xbox.
Yes.
Right now, games are bigger because, like, as much as we love Xbox, Assassin's Creed is everywhere. Madden is everywhere. Star Wars is everywhere. Battle. I wasn't gonna mention that. That's a text game, but it didn't launch right. But
Which one?
He had
42.
Apparently.
42. I didn't. After I played it, I wasn't gonna spend $70 for it because like it didn't seem like it was value.
Yeah,
like because I got 10 hours with the EA Play. But
wait,
anyway,
you say you didn't know there was an EA Play on PC?
I didn't know that there was an EA Plus type of app where you get all the games and DLC, like Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus is not just a subscription, right? For like games, you get the games and the DLC, and it's the same thing with EA Plus. But the problem that I have with Ubisoft is that Ubisoft's games are all EA's games too, but I don't really play EA games. I play Ubisoft games more than probably any other third party. So with the EA games, they got the same thing as Ubisoft Plus. But that's like $18. Game Pass is $15.
Yes.
So both of those cost more than Game Pass, and they don't offer as much as Game Pass.
Yes.
And I think if like the CMA forces their hand into like some type of deregulation situation where they say they won't up the price, I think they're gonna up the price, and then that price is gonna be locked in for a certain period of years.
Yeah, and that'll be great long term. And the other thing about it, what you were saying with the double dipping thing, like I said earlier, and I've said many times in the past, oftentimes I like to get the Steam version, right, the PC version, as the forever version, particularly if it's cross play and cross progression, right? But who's the OG on that? Xbox Play Anywhere, and the saves in the cloud, right? Like, so now it's like I used to, like for example, I'll give you the example of Streets of Rage 4, right? It was on Game Pass. I played it there, but they had the long-term version. I bought it on Steam, right? Because it's not on Game Pass anymore, right? But contrary to that, you have the Turtles game, right? It's on Xbox, right? But it's also in Game Pass. I can just play it there, or even if I buy the Xbox Game Pass version, right? I get the Xbox and the PC one. I can play with everyone. It's cross play, cross saves. Same with all these games. I don't have to buy the Steam version. I can just get the Xbox version, so it covers the console and the PC. This is like a portable Xbox in ways that no other device has or will be, because you could download the games locally or play the cloud version or remote into your system, all in the one official Xbox app. The Steam Deck, you could do it, but it's a lot of jank. You gotta you gotta do the thing
Steam Deck janky, yo.
Third party app that's still in beta right now. That's gonna get nice.
That's right.
But it's just a lot of crap. But the Xbox app is just there, off rip. Hell, it's built into Windows. That's one of the apps that's already there.
Man, come on, guys. You start ripping into Steam Deck. You guys were hyping it up when it came out. You guys were all about it and everything. And now the Ally comes out and you're like, oh man, F the Steam Deck, yo.
No, what have you done? What have you done for me lately, bro? I'm gonna tell you, Microsoft pisses me off because like their store doesn't have a lot of the big games. It's weird.
Yes. It's
So
weird.
so so that pretty much puts me in a position to where I have to go deal with Steam. And
Exactly.
like, I don't know if Diablo is in Steam yet. I don't think it is. But then you have to go deal with BattleNet. So you need to have all these launchers, which is why like which is this is why it's messed up that you dumped me in Diablo. I bought that game to play with you that day, right? And you never played with me. And I was like,
I'll play with you for
uh,
the first night.
you played me one. That's right. We got
Uh-huh.
several other
And you
nights and
dumped
you
him.
don't play with me, right? And I told you even on this
jilted
like
ex.
we were I am jilted because this is what I said. I said I really don't want to buy it on Xbox because when the Raw comes out, I'm gonna have to buy it again. And here I am having to buy it again.
Don't buy, fool. Come play with me.
Well, when I'm home, but if I'm not home, then I have to play it on the Raw. And that goes through BattleNet. I was hoping that, but see, this is why FTC needs to chill out so we can get these games in Game Pass.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Then there's no issue. Like
Yes.
no issue. Because I think being that BattleNet is on Xbox, that means that I'll have my progression. I'll just have to pay $60. And good luck trying to find a key for that game and have it cheaper with the popularity that it has right now. The game's on fire right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna sell it.
That price ain't going down anytime soon.
Right. There's no reason to do that. Right. Oh, and one last thing. See, yeah, I see what you were saying about like we sound like we're shitting on the Steam Deck. We're really not. But it's like an Apple product. It's like a walled garden, right? It works great. It's more console-like than the ROG Ally will ever be, right? In terms of that simplicity, console simplicity. Truly, it really is. You never have to deal with the complexity that's afforded and flexibility if you don't want to. You never have to go to the desktop to do anything on the Steam Deck, but you don't have the full depth and breadth and flexibility that the ROG Ally gives you. And when you start to leverage that, you start to realize the potential and the more ability and things you can do. It's worth that difference if you're able to leverage it. If you can't or don't want to, it's just like the difference between Android and iOS. It's that simple walled garden. You know it's going to work. It's very console simple in the Steam Deck. I really like that. This is not that. But in trade for that, you get so much more flexibility and ability. And that's outside of the hardware performance. That's just the platform of Windows provides that.
Hey, but Sek, you talk that junk, man, but Sik can tell you, I've been trying to replace the Steam Deck since I got it.
Yep.
It was just the best option, right? The price, the value, the support. Like, I look at it from all aspects. I've been an early adopter. I've been screwed several times over the years. So, like, once I got the Steam Deck, I'm not a Steam fanboy. I'm not. I've done the Linux thing. No more. I don't really care to do it. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna build a PC that just does gaming, which is pretty much what you're gonna do if you get Linux, because everything on Linux, you have to pretty much put that on. You have to run commands and install crap. They've made it simpler. They've gotten like little storefronts now, but no, the experience is so much different. I'll use an Apple before I use Linux.
It could screw up the whole situation, right?
And,
like they finally get it working with Proton or whatever, and then they'll do an update and it messes up the whole thing.
But that's possible too. But like I've been trying to replace it. Once I found out, like once I not found out, I've always known it. But I didn't know that it would be so hard to get other launchers working. Because I'm not a loyalist to Steam like a lot of the Steam Deck lovers are, right? They are in Gabe We Trust to the max. Yes. Like they hate Windows, they hate Mac, they hate everything that Gabe doesn't back. So it's like I'll take a game from Epic. Like Sifu was only in the Epic store, right? Control, I didn't care for it, but it was only in the Epic store. So there's another game that's about to come out that's only going to be in the Epic store. You think I'm not going to get that in Epic so I can play on the go? No. Yeah, so that's my issue. Like they do all this talk, bro, and this is always my question to these Engage We Trust type guys, man. Like if somehow Gabe can wrestle market position to where they're the leader in the lead gaming platform on PC, what do you think they're going to do differently? They're not going to do anything differently. They're going to use their position just like Microsoft and Apple would, or anybody else, or Sony. They're not going to do anything different. So stop championing, and we all do the same thing. We get behind the loser or the person who's the underdog. We get behind the underdog,
That's always so mindless.
and then once they become the favorite, we hate them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, just acknowledge everybody for what they are and for what they're gonna do. But yeah, I've been trying to replace it because there were so many games that were coming out, and I had to buy them twice. And I'm an Xbox first gamer, right? I'm a Microsoft gamer, so it's like those games I'm buying them twice when I'm paying a subscription. You know, that's kind of productive.
So does that mean that we're gonna hate on Xbox at one point?
Am I gonna hate on Xbox? No,
If they
I
do
mean
bad things, then
because I acknowledge Microsoft for what they are. They're the second largest, the first largest company in the world, depending on the month. And they're gonna do what benefits them as a company and their shareholders, just like any other company. You know, Valve is private, but they still have shareholders. Gabe didn't do it all by himself, so they're gonna do whatever they can to wrestle position to make more money. And they're gonna, and if that entails walling off everybody else. Well, see, they talk that junk against Microsoft because Microsoft. It's easy to hate Microsoft. Microsoft's been evil since the '90s, right? They've been labeled evil since the '90s. So it's easy to create this uprising against Microsoft, and he was successful in doing that. But look, I accept them all for what they are, and the Steam Deck is a Steam machine, and I respect it. Just like Sony, I don't knock Sony. I don't knock Nintendo. Like, I cannot like it, but I understand. It's like I'm not mad at them for doing what they do, but Valve is no different than any of those guys. And they made a console. They call it the Steam Deck. It runs Linux, and anything that you run that's not Steam is going to have to be rigged up.
That's why I always talk about dual booting on the system, but they still haven't released the operating system to even do that.
But see, that lets you know that Gabe is doing what he wants to do, and Microsoft and he and Microsoft have a mutual understanding and respect for one another. That they're gonna work within the confines. But see, he created this uprising though, and he's got this whole group, this whole legion of minions that hate Microsoft because Microsoft is evil. Like they're doing anything different.
But meanwhile, 99% of them are buying games from his platform and running them on Windows, not Linux or anything else. And one more example of like these guys. This is something I tweeted about. We were talking about earlier about how these people are so crazy and they just straight lying, right? So I saw this on Facebook. I screenshot it because it was a person's real name. I didn't put the name or anything. You know, I didn't want to go that far, right? But basically, to try to make it seem like everybody's hating on this device, on the ROG Ally, he filtered out all the comments to only the 1-star comments. Was too stupid to crop out that part at the very top. I just put a little arrow to point at it, right? To say that he filtered out to the 1-star comments. And even all the comments were a bunch of morons who were complaining about stuff like they didn't know what the hell you could tell. It was clear they didn't know what they were doing. And everybody who was commenting it about his post on the Facebook, the ROG Ally, all called him out for it. It was ridiculous. The mindset is everything that Willis is talking about here is just ridiculous, bro. It's that's just plain dumb. Sit there and exaggerate to no extent, bro.
That's why my worst fanboy ratings are number 1, ponies, number 2, Linux fanboys, number 3, Steam fanboys, number 4, Xbox, and number 5, PC elitists. That's my ranking of the worst fanboys in gaming.
I would say the PC fanboy is a little worse than Xbox guys.
Nah. When you say PC fanboy, what is that?
I mean the holier than thou. PC
oh yeah,
that's what I said. The PC elitist,
stereotypical PC guys that make all PC guys look bad. Because most PC guys don't even care about nothing the console guys are doing. They don't care at all. They're more like the Nintendo guys who don't say nothing, right? Right? Mm-hmm. But they don't talk about those Nintendo fanboys. They talk about the crazy Nintendo fanboys.
I like Windows notifications. Makes me feel important.
But it's just the mindset of that, like to group the whole group based on a loud minority that doesn't really represent the platform as a whole.
Punny, they're not going to take market share. People have been saying that for the last 20 years.
What, Linux?
Yes.
Every year is the year of Linux. That ain't happening ever.
Well, like what skews the numbers is and this has been Gabe's mission, right? He tried it with the Steam machine. We had a Steam machine, and nobody else bought a Steam machine. right? If you sell 2 million Steam Decks, those count as Linux users. It doesn't like the fact that you don't even use Linux. You're not doing anything in Linux. You're not using it for any workspace tasks or anything like that. You still count it as a Linux user. The real
And
Linux
then
users
they
are the ones
sat
who boot
there
up their
and they,
computers through who boot up their computers through Linux. Those are the
yep.
real Linux
And
users.
then just code all day.
And the
And then these
majority of
days
people
just
don't
started
have the
beating their
time to
chest like
become
the numbers are going
the,
up.
the majority of people don't have the time to be lightweight coders to build up Linux the way so that it works similar to what Windows would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And with
but
that note,
it's just a toxic mindset.
we're at the end, fools.
Yes.
We're at the end. Because we're an hour and 50 minutes in.
Oh, we went
And
2 hours, man?
no punty. I'm not dancing around. I'm very comfortable right now. But I am getting a little hungry because I didn't get dinner. So
Din sign.
yeah, I didn't get no din before again the show. So.
Nice.
and real quick, I see some people because I got on my phone now. I see some people like commenting on the whole Linux deal, man. Like people are not gonna move over that way. It's too easy to use Windows, man. It's too easy. It's too easy.
It's too much of a learning curve with Linux and
then you're gonna get Linux, and then they do like performance comparisons. So I'm gonna go through all that trouble for 15 or 20 extra frames when I'm already over 120. You know what I mean? If I'm at 60, I'm gonna go through all that headache to get extra 5-10 frames.
65.
It's not that serious, man. It's not that serious. I mean, even with Linux being way more lightweight than Windows, way less processors running, it still is not like leaps and bounds ahead. It's not worth it.
And that's the one last thing I wanted to say too, right? Everybody loves to say how Windows is such a horrible platform.
It is.
All this
It's
stuff,
terrible.
right?
I hate it.
But they and they try to act like somehow Linux is better, which number one, it's not even compatible with everything. So by default, it's not, right? But even if it was compatible with everything, right? The reason why the Steam Deck works so great with the Steam OS is because it's like I said, a walled garden. Like they keep you out of if certain stuff don't work, there's little you can do about it, right? You could fiddle with one or two things, and if that doesn't work, that's it, right? Meanwhile, on Windows, it all just works. So it's just like, what are you talking about? Period. I don't need to go into little jank apps. I don't need to wait for EmuDeck, right? To be off of Patreon to get a version of EmuDeck. I can just copy all the emulators that are already pre-configured on my PC onto my Ally, and I'm good to go. Like,
yeah, you noticed that too, bro. That's what I was gonna say earlier, Sick. You got to go through Patreon for EmuDeck on Windows.
Yeah, on that early point right now. Later on when they release it, sure, but even then, you have to stay paid on Patreon as they get the new updates and stuff until way later when that update become free.
I'll make my own launcher. I could do that. No, what I mean, you mean like, but the thing about like the compiler, that's the thing that I don't have time for. Like the way that the EmuDeck will go through all of your it centralizes your emulators, and then it scans all of your games, and then it gets the covers for all the games. That's the thing that I don't have time to do.
Okay, but here's the thing about that. All they're using is Steam ROM Manager, which has been out for well over a decade. That's not something that EmuDeck people created, right? That's just something they're leveraging and tweaking to their own ends. And that's what I'm saying about the Steam OS thing. It's like Steam is doing all the stuff in the background to resolve the jank, right? Like to make it more console-esque. To make it more console-esque. On Windows, Steam doesn't have any of that functionality. That's why we have Armory Crate on the Asus ROG Ally. It brings those things. You have the 2 extra buttons, just like on the Steam Deck. You know, one where you press and you can turn on a frame rate counter or turn down the TDP and brightness on those other things. And then there's the other button that does other similar things, right? And the Steam Deck has that functionality too. When people try to put Windows on the Steam Deck and they instantly say it's the worst experience because you don't have any of that stuff, those 2 buttons are now worthless, right? There's different apps that's starting to bring that now too, like Handheld Companion, right? But without that, the experience is horrible. And they try to compare the Steam Deck Steam OS experience to the Windows experience, knowing full well it's not an equal comparison because that stuff isn't there. But with the Armory crate, it brings up 99% of that stuff. And it just came out 2 days ago. Give them a goddamn break. They'll work it out just like they did with Steam OS. Because when the Steam Deck first came out, it was jank in that manner too. It didn't really work out that great until they tweaked it a little bit and they got experience, and like I said with Starfield earlier, when they, experienced bugs that, the community got to find, and then they were able to fix it and it became smoother. So anybody is like this thing. Anybody who gets into something way later will be the one that has the best experience. We're getting the early adopter tax right now, right?
Yeah.
We have to go through all this stuff. There's even a BIOS update right now that's killing performance because I'm sure it was just a mistake, and they'll put another BIOS update that fixes all of that, right? And it'll be all good. This is early days. It just came out the day before yesterday. So
Bro,
cool, guys.
I play this thing, man, and it just jumps right into you click the game and you're right in the game, bro.
Yup, it's pretty much just that anyway. Like they overhyped even that complaint. It's really not even to that extent as they've been saying.
All right, guys, it's the end of it. Great show,
Bye,
great information. I told you, Starfield effect is strong, and the Rogue Ally fans are rejoicing. I mean, that was like almost an hour of Rogue Ally. So these are the two guys. Yeah,
I thought it was less, but
it was nearly an hour, man.
Are you gonna make chapters?
I'm gonna try to go back and do the chapters later on, and then and that's it, man. So I'm gonna go play some Diablo because somebody told me I don't play enough Diablo, and then man, I'm trying to finish up that Gotham Knights too, man. I'm almost finished with it. I'm almost done with it.
I'm gonna grab me a drink. I'm gonna put on that Star Trek. I'm gonna grab my Rogue Ally, watch Star Trek, and play some games.
I need to finish up. What's that HBO show with that crazy family?
What are you talking about?
Dang it! It's the HBO show, man. I forgot what it's called, but it's the crazy family with the businesses, and that's all they do is fight and try to make money all the time.
Schitt's Creek?
Nah, man.
Yellowstone?
Nah, it's more modern. It's like current day. I forget what it's called. Anyways, I'm almost done with it. I need to finish that up too. So, have a good night, guys. Chatterbox, you've been awesome, and we'll talk to you later. Good night. Bye.
All right.